professional chess it's a pretty weird world. I feel like up until recently it was populated largely by wizened Uzbeki warlords and battery-farmed 8-year-olds. But those days are well and truly behind us now, and chess is a bit of a sordid hotbed of scandal. So obviously in 2022 there was the infamous vibrating anal beads affair when Magnus Carlsen, who's probably the most high-profile chess player.
He's the greatest. He's Messi, basically.
He's the Messi of chess. He accused Hans Niemann, who's a bit of a rising star, of receiving advice on moves during matches via vibrating anal beads.
Let's just talk through how this works. So
my understanding, we should say that Hans Niemann denies that denies that he ever did this.
So the idea is he's got the beads in his bum. They're remote controlled.
Yeah.
A friend is watching.
I think somebody is watching the game
with a supercomputer,
feeding it into a chess supercomputer,
tells you
which would then tell you what to do. It would be able to look 20 moves in advance, whatever, and then will send vibrations to the
so like one
to
buzz means like bishop to a4. Yeah. But then there are so many possible moves in chess that like you probably get up to like 100 buzzes.
I guess if depending on the anal beads that you've got, is probably a string of anal beads. So maybe he's able
different
beads like the one.
Do you think he's got that level of like? You'd have to be a very experienced user, I think, to know which bead is pulsing.
Well, if it gets you past Magnus Carlsen, then it was worth it.
Or do you think like because there are set moves like in chess, like the Queen's Gambit or like the Stockholm? So is it even then though? I'm just imagining that in order to communicate, you have to buzz it like 100 times. At which point, poor old Hans Niemann is in bits.
So if I play 3 blind mice on the anal beads, then you do the King's Gambit.
I also want to know what gave Magnus Carlsen this theory. That he obviously felt he was cheating for some reason, but then why anal beads?
Well,
search this. Is there a strip search? Because
I don't know.
If you got it naked, you might still not know.
I think possibly the origin of this rumor was another story that came out from the world of Zhang Qi, which is a Chinese variation of chess, where the national champion Yan Chenlong was stripped of his title after being accused of. He was actually caught. Like he genuinely was caught using vibrating anal beads.
Oh right.
And then so he was partly stripped of his title because of that, but also because during his post-tournament celebrations, he took a shit in the hotel bathtub where he was staying. So he celebrates his
in his own bathtub.
In his own bathtub. So he was basically getting on it after the after winning this big Chinese tournament and shat in the bathtub.
Why?
Possibly because he just had to remove his vibrating anal bead. I don't know, maybe I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Maybe they were related. But
so it wasn't a celebratory poo? Just like, yeah, no, I think
when you've had vibrating anal beads up there for probably the best part of 12 hours, then you lose some element of control over your bowels.
Yeah, a long time to be at the table. So that was just
so he was stripped of his title.
Why don't you just clean it up? You know, like, have you ever been at a music festival and you go to the loo and there's just like
someone shat on the toilet?
They've just missed.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
well, I can imagine how. Vibrating anal beads.
Vibrating anal beads, possibly.
Oh, so do you think
I wonder whether maybe it's just rife in the world of chess.
Quite a humiliating way to lose your title, isn't it? Like, first of all, we caught you with the beads, and then how did they catch him again?
I don't know. I'm not sure what was caught first. Whether maybe it was just the hotel staff came around and.
And then they were worked backwards.
Yeah, maybe they found the shit in the bathtub, and then in there as well was some vibrating anal beads.
Yeah,
and they put 2 and 2 together.
Because I don't think maybe they're allowed to search them.
Yeah. So after all of those quite grim, quite sordid scandals, this once noble sport has now been hit by a drama straight out of the Cold War playbook. So at a tournament in Makakala last week, the Russian champion Amina Abakarova was caught poisoning her opponent by smearing liquid mercury on her board. So there's CCTV of this instance. So it's like a big chess hall, where they do these tournaments. and it's empty because it's the tournament hasn't started yet. And Amina goes in. You can see her looking quite shifty, looking around, and then she opens a bag, pulls out this vial, and empties it all over the chessboard. So the tournament started, and after about half an hour, her opponent goes down with like dizziness and nausea, and the doctors get called in, and I think the Russian doctors probably know their way around a mercury poisoning, and they know what they're looking at, and advise the tournament organisers to check the CCTV. And Amina's caught red-handed, really. So apparently it was to do with a bit of a feud that these two players had. So Amina claims that her rival had said nasty things about her and her relatives behind her back, which, is not very nice. Probably not a reason to knock out her central nervous system, but...
Yeah, I mean, can we just clarify? You can die from mercury
yeah,
poisoning,
you can die.
Do you need a lot? Because it's the idea that she'll touch the board and then it'll go into her skin
and yeah. She claims that she did the poisoning for revenge and that she wanted to knock her out of the tournament, which I think she's going to do more than knock her out of the tournament, I think.
Is that not attempted murder?
Yeah, I think so. So luckily her opponent recovered. Amina was arrested, and it looks like she's going to get a big ban from the Chess Federation, which is probably
6-point deduction,
fair. Yeah. Is a bit of a no-no doing that, really. Yeah. Mercury poisoning.
Don't cough too loudly. Don't take too long to take your move. And please don't poison people with mercury. That's mental. Although I got to say, I kind of love it.
Yeah,
it's sort of what I want from, as you said, proper Cold War shit.
Yeah.
Poisoning's their dying art, really. Yeah. It's good to have them back.
For a sport that you picture as being sort of quite stuffy, or just kind of, I don't know, a bit nerdy, I guess.
But very weird personalities.
Yeah. But it's actually possibly the most scandalous sport.
When are we getting the drive to survive in chess? Forget like a few pit lane arguments. You've got people like taking dumps in bathtubs and poisoning each other.
Shoving vibrating anal beads up their arse.
Polonium darts in the chess room.